18,000 rupees in China, 27,000 rupees in India. So, is that it? Is this a ripoff? Or is there more to the 8.1 than meets the eye? What do you think? Go on to the comments right now and tell me what do you think. Overpriced or worth it? Just leave just that one word, or worth it, 2 words, whatever. Just leave that in the comments below before we start with this video. But then let's start with this video. Let's see if there is actually something to this Nokia 8.1, if this is a phone that you should take a second look at, not just go with that pricing. Well, let's talk about all that in this video. Hey guys, my name's Ash, you're watching C4eTech, and welcome to my full review of the Nokia 8.1. Let's get started. If you do end up liking this video, please don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. And as always, here's a card to our latest giveaway, which actually happens to be a Nokia 8.1. Okay, it's actually the X7, which is the Chinese version of the 8.1. So check that video out if you haven't yet. So let's start with the build. The Nokia 8.1 feels solid. It's a glass sandwich design held together by an anodized metal frame. This frame has a unique design with soft touch edges and a chamfered band in the middle. The edges and the camera accent share the same color, which is another added little touch. The display here is 18.7 by 9, so the phone does feel a little wider than others with a 19.5 by 9 panel, but that's not really noticeable. Overall, the in-hand feel, the looks, HMD Global has done very well. It's worth mentioning that while the 8.1 doesn't come with extras like wireless charging or water resistance, the headphone jack is retained and it outputs good quality audio, and there is also support for memory expansion via microSD in the form of a hybrid slot. Now to the front, if you hate notches, you're not gonna like this. There's a pretty wide notch, and there's nothing special thrown in here either. Just the front-facing camera, earpiece and sensors. But if you are able to look past that, this is a nice display. It's IPS LCD, the resolution is Full HD+, and the size, it's 6.18 inches. It's bright, the viewing angles impress, the colors seem very accurate. I did end up consuming quite a bit of media when using this phone, watching YouTube videos, Netflix and the ilk, and I was very happy with this panel. Not only the display, but the single downwards firing speaker was quite clear and loud too. Internally, the Nokia 8.1 is powered by the Snapdragon 710 chip. Now the 710 is a mid-range chip, but the best mid-range chip that Qualcomm has to offer. The performance here is very close to that of the Snapdragon 835, last year's flagship chip. The 835 being a flagship is better, of course, but the 710 comes pretty close. So from a performance standpoint, the Nokia 8.1 delivered. Whether it's gaming, playing PUBG, or just using the phone for mundane day-to-day tasks like social media, mails and so on, there were no issues. Wrapping up the spec sheet is 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. Now the performance here is also complemented by the software on this guy. Just like all Nokia phones sold in India, the Nokia 8.1 also comes as part of the Android One program, meaning it runs an almost stock version of Android with very few changes. While talking software, I feel it's worth mentioning that HMD Global has the best track record with regards to updates. So far, even with their cheaper phones, security patches and Android version updates have been really fast. So the software here is definitely a strong point. The user experience is excellent. The Snapdragon 710 also happens to be quite power efficient. So coupled with that 3500 mAh battery inside, the battery life was excellent too. I didn't have any issues getting through a day of intense usage on a single charge when I used this as my primary for a week. And if needed to charge back up, that happens quite fast too, since there is a 18-watt charger included in the box. Now before we jump into cameras, let's take a look at the miscellaneous stuff. The fingerprint scanner to the back worked as expected, was quick. Cellular reception and call quality were excellent too. And with that, we get to cameras. This is another area where the Nokia 8.1 shines. To the back, it has 2 cameras, a primary 12 megapixel sensor with a f1.8 lens along with a 13 megapixel depth sensor. Remember, the optics here come with Zeiss branding and the primary lens is optically stabilized. Under good light, the 8.1 does very well. The colors are natural, devoid of any boost in saturation that we've started to see on many cameras these days. There's ample detail and excellent dynamic range. Under low light, the Nokia 8.1 exceeds expectations. OIS and the wide aperture combine to offer very good pictures. Clean, well detailed and bright. Here are a few more samples. The rear portraits turned out quite nice too. The 13 megapixel depth sensor does its job, the edge detection was quite good, even so with selfies. The 20 megapixel f2 camera manages to do a good job. Again, here are a few more samples. As for video, the Nokia 8.1 can do 4K 30 FPS, and here OIS helps again, stable, crisp and clear footage. Overall, the shooting experience on the Nokia 8.1 was very nice. That's also thanks to the app itself. This is one of the only aspects of the user interface that HMD Global has worked on. You get an option to shoot motion pictures, there's a beauty mode, a Bokeh option, and of course a full-fledged Pro mode thrown in. They've done a good job. Now with that, we get to the pricing. The Nokia 8.1 is priced at 27,000 rupees in India. Now this price by itself does not raise any eyebrows, but when you look at the fact that it sells for 18,000 rupees, just 18,000 rupees in China as the Nokia X7, then that begs the question, why is it priced so high in India? Now that kind of makes this phone feel like it is overpriced. I do understand there's logistics involved and import taxes and so on, but I really do wish HMD Global had managed to bring this to India at 23,000 rupees, because at that price point, it would have been a great alternative option to the Poco F1. Now even at 27k, it is not a bad deal. If stock Android, lightning fast updates, a good camera with OIS and a solid build is something you seek, the Nokia 8.1 will serve you well. But it is just not as strong an offering as it could have been. So, despite the phone itself being a great package, I can't help but have mixed feelings about its price point in India. So anyway, there you go, my 2 cents on the Nokia 8.1. Buy it if these USPs really matter to you and you don't mind paying a little extra, because you are expected to pay a little extra. So what do you think? Did HMD Global mess up by launching it much higher than in China, or do you feel it is still worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, we get to the end of this video. Share it with the friends and family if you can. Thumbs up, thumbs down, based on what you felt about it. Also subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon if you haven't yet. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.